Hey, welcome to the HR Happy Hour Work Break. It is Trish, and I am here with Steve Bose. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey Trish, how are you? Good to see
I am
you.
good. It's good
You're
to see
looking
you.
floral and sort of spring-like there. There
I
you
know
go.
it's it is. I'm very floral today. Yes, I don't know why. I don't know how you feel. You look very nice today. You
Thank
look
you.
wrapped up. We didn't plan this. We're very fancy.
I know I had a few of those Zoom call things today, like everyone does, and I thought, well, maybe just for today, I'll try to freshen up a little bit. I'm fighting a losing battle against all the video calls, it seems like, and
You're on video.
so sometimes I'll have to, look a little bit more presentable. But right after this call, Trish, this is my last kind of video thing for the day.
Okay.
As things go, it'll be back to the, USA basketball sleeveless shirt, and maybe I'll go shoot some hoops or something.
No, I get that. I get that. No, you know what? I think it's funny. You said that today I had a lot of calls too. And so I was, the first one I did though, I was in a sweatshirt because I had been out. I have a whole pile of rock that was delivered that's going behind a retaining wall that I put up. And so I've been out there like shoveling and shoveling and shoveling rock all morning in between actual meetings. So that was interesting. So yes, I did get cleaned up and for the last call I had, and I thought, oh, we might as well jump on while I'm looking somewhat presentable. So here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. So how was your weekend? How was the holiday? It was a big holiday. People are starting to get out a little bit.
Yeah, I did not get out, but
You did not?
it was very quiet. It was nice. I grilled a lot, which is I've told you this offline, but I'll say it here. It is my only real skill, I think, now remaining. That's potentially semi-marketable. Grilling, smoking, barbecuing, whatever, however you want to call it, and different permutations. Since we've been not traveling for so long, I've been having to cook a lot more. And the only thing I know how to cook, or the only style of cooking I have any skill in at all, is grilling, barbecuing, etc. So, that was a big focus for me this weekend.
Very good.
But I cook too much. I live alone, and so I've cooked all this food, and I never can get all through it, which is a problem. I do need to figure out some better ways to manage that problem.
I got out. If anybody watched on Friday, obviously I was, coming on the call live from the road, and my sister and I actually went to Branson, Missouri. There are fewer than 10 cases in the entire county, which is a huge county. So that was good. And we went down there. I would say maybe 50% of the restaurants were open, but at only the 25% of seating capacity. So everything felt really safe, really spread out. We weren't ever by anybody, wore the masks most of the time. All of the servers wore masks, lots of precautions, which was good, but it felt good. Oh, it felt good. We sat outside and ate and, ate by the lake, and it just felt normal. For a change. And I will say any amount of anxiety that I've pent up in these last 10 weeks has finally all gone away. So it was good. It was nice. We, the stores weren't open a lot. There were, a few stores open here and there. And again, they were definitely in Branson, Missouri, making sure that they had, a limit on each store. They would actually, a lot of them lock the doors in between and count people in and out. Hand sanitizer everywhere. So
that reminds me, Trish, and people who know me hate when I bring up these stories, but I did work for a time in the Middle East a number of years ago. And it reminds me of what happened in the stores when the call to prayer was, right? The 5 times a day calls to prayer, because the stores would all shut. And if you weren't sort of inside, if you were inside the store, you could stay in, or the restaurant, as the case may be. You were allowed to stay in. You couldn't actually leave until the call to prayer was over. But if you didn't get there in time, and the call to prayer started, all the doors would shut on all the stores and all the restaurants, and you'd have to wait until the call to prayer was over before you could go in. That little story gave me a flashback to those days.
Okay. I did not know that, so I've learned something new.
So I have something I read that I wanted to bring up on the show today, Trish.
Okay.
And I'll just read the headline. It's from a New York Times article, and it's this. the Air Force removes height requirement to attract more women pilots. The Air Force said it was dispensing with a restriction that effectively eliminated about 44% of American women between the ages of 20 and 29. Previously, in case you were not up on Air Force pilot height requirements, which I was not either, officer applicants who wish to become pilots had to be between 5'4" and 6'5", males or females.
Okay.
And now they're loosening up that rule, mainly according to this article, to allow more female officer candidates into the applicant pool to maybe potentially become pilots one day. And I'm assuming it's because most of the females are on the sub 5'4" end of the scale and not the plus 6'5" scale. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, I think that's good, I guess. If they can do it safely, I think more power to them, right? I'm actually a little confused, though, because I do think that most women, I don't know what the average is. Maybe we should look that up at some point. But I think most women are 5'4" and above. Now, I will say, like, my daughter's 5'3", and I don't think she's going to grow anymore. So
she would be a perfect example of someone who physically, she's an athlete, she's fit, all of this.
Oh, that's good.
To look at her, you'd say, yeah, she probably has what it takes to become a jet pilot or a fighter pilot. And she was 1 inch, previously she was 1 inch too short.
I had no idea.
Seems a little unfair.
No, I guess, you know what, wouldn't that fall under sort of like reasonable accommodation, right? If you can adjust someone.
I don't know.
You know, it's no different than driving a car, really.
Yeah.
You know, when she drives a car, she has to move the seat much closer and a little bit higher, and then it works just fine. So interesting.
Just a couple more bits from the article. It does talk about aircraft. The way they build the aircraft is the reason why these guidelines existed, the typical aircraft. And then it does say, according to the CDC, the average height of an American woman over age 20 is 63.6 inches, or a little over 5'3". That's 5'3.5". So the average woman was below, right, the height barrier that the Air Force has set up for pilot training. I didn't know that. That seems a little short, but fair enough.
It does. Okay, I'm shocked about that. I think if I had to guess, I would have said maybe 5'5". 5'5", 5'6" would be average. But I'm 5'5.5" roughly, and I feel like everyone is taller than me. All the women I know are, for the most part, taller than me. So
yeah, the thing that makes me think about it, I thought it was an interesting article, which I did save, and I brought it up today. But I also wanted to think about, well, more generally, right? And I guess it's just almost a semi-rhetorical question is, but what are those artificial barriers or requirements that we put in our organizations around certain jobs, or maybe all of our jobs, right? And I know we've talked for a while in the industry about so many jobs on paper require bachelor's degrees or advanced degrees, and they really shouldn't, or so many years of experience that really probably shouldn't be there. But my guess is this: most organizations could look at just about any of the jobs that they have or that they'll eventually try to fill and say, boy, why is this requirement there? And does it really need to be there? And is it artificially just a method of screening out people who really should be part of that pool? Just like this example from the Air Force.
So I have a couple comments and a question. So we have a viewer who's Susan Hanold. Hi, Susan. She has said that we actually had a pilot shortage 2 months ago, and now we have a surplus due to COVID. So there's that, obviously, with all of the airlines not running at capacity. So we could, and there've been multiple articles I know about that, about what pilots are going to do at that point. She also points out pilots can also be too tall and get excluded.
Yeah, we did. That did say the Air Force had a 6'5" height maximum for pilots.
And I bet that's also, again, probably based on the dimensions that they've built these planes, right? And I apologize to everyone because I'm having to get really close because I've got to read. I can't go to get my eyeglasses redone yet. Isn't that? I think maybe now I can. And I need to check, but I need to get new glasses. Anyway, she asked, where was the article posted? I know you said
New York Times. It's in the New York Times.
New York Times. Can you
yesterday, May 25th.
The title, please?
Air Force removes height requirement to attract more women pilots is the online title, May 25th.
Hey, you know what, though? I have to say, I think it could also, the impact is also men. There are quite a few men who are 5'3", 5'2", as well. So I think,
Lots of opportunities for those men, though, riding horses in races as jockeys, right?
now they can be pilots.
Now they can be pilots as well. It is interesting, though. I mean, yeah, there's always going to be certain jobs where there is some hard and fast physical requirements to perform certain aspects of a job, right? You have to be an excellent athlete to be a pro basketball player, say in the NBA. Now, you don't have to be a certain height or not, but you have to be an incredible athlete, and someone who's not an incredible athlete, well, they can't have that job, and that's okay. But some of these other restrictions that are just about 6'5" or 5'4", whatever they are, on their surface, they don't really mean anything, right? They're just a barrier or a restraint or a constraint we've set up.
I'll tell you what, I mean, it probably had a lot to do with when rules get put into place like that, there's usually a reason at the time. And so again, that's probably something that hasn't been changed in quite a while. And, now that more women are just joining the workforce more regularly and of course going to become pilots, of course you would naturally want to make sure that they have opportunities to work as pilots as well. So yeah. Susan says, let's see, it's like workplace flexibility rules, the old one that said you had to work in your job 2 years. Oh yes, right. Before you could even be eligible for promotions. Yes. Or work from home or job change of some sort. Absolutely. I think it's funny. I was talking to my kids in general just about, I tend to not be a rule. Well, it's weird. I'm a rule follower as long as I think the rules make sense. But
you get to decide which rules make sense.
I get to decide. No, but it's like some of those things, right? It's like so many rules in our lives are arbitrary. And again, maybe it was based on something, it's sort of like when you think about HR technology and maybe it takes, you're going to open a job requisition and it needs 5 approvals before it can be approved. And then once you make some interviews and you're going to make your hire, well, now the hiring manager can't approve the compensation. It has to go through 2 or 3 more people, right? It's that sort of stuff. It's like you hire people who hopefully are competent, but we build all these steps and processes because at one point somebody probably messed up and made a hire they shouldn't have made,
That's why on the airplane, Trish, I say this all the time, the door to the airplane, that inside door has a big placard on it that says, hey, don't open this door while the plane is in flight. Because at one point in the past, someone said, hey, I wonder.
I know.
Awful.
Frustrating. All right. Well, I think that I think we've covered the gamut today. So happy Tuesday. This has been great. And thanks to everyone. Thanks to Susan for all your comments. Obviously, we love that when it happens live. And thanks to everyone for all the comments. As you're watching the replays, we love it. We love hearing from you all and the retweets and everything. If you have things you want to talk about, shoot us a message or come on with us or whatever. Obviously, we had Karen on last week. That was fun.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Notes, right? And we'd love to just hear from everyone. So
yeah, we'll be here, right, for a while. We're not traveling, so
we're not traveling. Yeah. Anyway, thanks to everyone who listens, and be safe out there. And we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.